Okay guys, now this is my tutorial on, or my recipe more, for easy, cheapish, nice lager. First you need Cooper's kit, I'll point to it in a second, there you go. And then you'll get the glucose. I get it by the 5 kilo bag with the scales there you see in front of me. I've weighed it out. Um, Yep, and it cost me $17 for 5 kilos. Okay, there's my brewing pot, already boiling. And I've filled it off some water with the activated carbon easy water filter. I'll just put the top of it and chuck it on the top of my fermenter and just keep filling it up. I use this along with water boiling for the steam of the bleach to soften everything after I've given it a scrub, and it works pretty well. Then I do this again with sodium metabisulfate. Don't get the other one, just get sodium metabisulfate, and the vapors from that sterilize along with steam, obviously being a sterilizing agent. But before I do that, obviously it's cleaned out very thoroughly. Nothing is left to be infection, because the germs are underneath whatever may be caked on the side. You don't want them left there. Okay, now there's my brewing pot again. We'll start with adding the glucose in a second. Sorry, I had to do a voiceover because it didn't come out good. First we'll open the kit. Okay, now you get your yeast, which is an ale yeast. Most kits are ale yeast. You get the instructions if you have to read them, but they're shit. In a bath of hot water, generally you do 15 minutes, 10-15, just to soften, makes it run out of the can a lot easier. But I'm going to do, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to skip that, and I'm just going to use boiling water. You can do this. Some people like doing it, some people don't. Whatever. So you need the can opener that it's got. Get the kettle going. Okay, now get that out. Obviously, you pull the plug out. Careful, the water will be hot. So the can, if you do it the normal way, obviously the water's still hot. When you're sterilizing, while I'm doing this, I'll go over that. When you're sterilizing, be very careful of steam. Steam burns are not fun. They can be very bad, equal to what you need of boiling oil. Anyway, now you need to open your can. I think I'm doing that, or I'm doing sugar. Sugar, yep. You need to obviously put your sugar in. I'm trying to do this all one-handed by myself, so it's not quite as easy as when you get someone videoing it for you. That's my metabisulfate pre-made. I sterilised all the surfaces before, even the spoon was sterilised. Even though at the boiling temperatures you don't need to, but I don't fully boil this. I find it a lot easier with this recipe because I'm not adding hops or anything like that. I'm just mixing it really. Just dissolve the sugar in. Boiling water will dissolve it really quick. That sugar will dissolve. I didn't really get a good shot of that, but it's already pretty much gone. Oh, there you go. You sort of see. Yep, see, already gone. Just give it a good stir. You don't want anything caramelizing on the bottom, including the brew kit. Now I'm just making sure got it all. Now you need to open your can. Try to juggle the camera and can opener, just did not work. So in a second you get put down. trigger for a second. You can sort of see what I'm doing, but you know, everyone knows how to open up a tin. You know, whenever a tin of baked beans or whatever. Same thing. Just do it from the bottom, not the top, or you'll see when you get, if you get one, there's a decent, almost an inch, half an inch, somewhere around there, of space on the top for where they put the yeast and the instructions. Most kits have this, some don't. I just open to the bottom. It's good to have it the way you never really stuff it up. Don't have to try to do it twice. Okay. Now just checking the water, making sure to empty it a bit. Boils quicker, so it's not quite boiled. Now I'll get the tin in a minute, because I only need to half fill that with water at the end to get all this stuff out. Be careful that tin will be hot when you've soaked it. It'll come out a lot easier than this. As you see, that's sort of just pouring slowly out. When you're you try to spread it over the whole bottom. Turn the heat down for this, because you don't want to caramelize that, burn it or anything like that, because then you got off flavors, tannins. Now when I stop pouring, because I don't want to sit there just waiting for that little trickle, I just twist it round to direction the little trickle back into the can, and then I'll get my boiling water. Once I get it organised, pour a bit in, and I'll vigorously stir that. I got the wrong way around, I was a bit behind on myself, sorry. You give that a good stir to get all that syrup, all the goodness from the beer, all into the boiling water. And be very careful if you do this, as it can burn. Just another look. As the filter's done, got a bit too much water there, that's what I was checking. In a minute I'll let that off. I'll go over a few things, whatever I can think of to help you. Now you just pour that back in, that one, give it another good stir. So I was a bit fast with the camera, so it's a bit jumpy. Haven't done many videos yet. Anyway, good stir. Make sure you stir it all in again. Bring it up, turn the gas on high again. Okay, now at the moment I'm pouring it out. Now this recipe I do to about 20 to 25 litres, depending on the strength I'm aiming at. Obviously less water, more strength in body. Also you end up with a bit more alcohol content. If you want to avoid that, just drop a small amount of sugar off what you would add to this, and that'll work fine. Yeah, should be almost done here anyway. It's very nice lager though. I'm a lager drinker, I don't like ales that much, so I'd rather do me lagers obviously. Soon enough I'll be doing the all grain one I'm working on. It's not fully, I don't do the grains, I get the extracts and mix them to the desired flavour I want, and add the hop additions, boil in and all that stuff. I'll go over that in another video though. I'll give it a bit of a stir. I get close to the point of a hot break where it just starts happening. You won't really see it in the video. It's not a high definition in camera or anything, so you're not going to see it. It's starting to happen off memory, because I only did it about 2 hours ago. Anyway, I'll get the final gravity. I'll put it in the description. Anyway, that hot break's just starting to sort of happen. Give it a minute or two longer. There's beer I just bottled 2 days ago. Just letting it get a bit of heat in the kitchen. It will help carbonate, get the carbonation on the way, and no failures in the bottle, which is one thing I don't want. I want all my beer carbonated, not too nice, flat. Yeah. Okay. Now, I've just got interrupted there for a minute by Keita Now, shoot, I think I'm getting her to hold my camera so you can watch me pour it in, because I was actually about to get someone to do this, just showing her how to angle it so people can see. Now when you pour it, like I've got a, as you can probably see, I've got a pretty narrow topped fermenter. It's one of my few, but that's the one I chose to use. Get there, just pour it, try to be careful not to splash it all over the place, because you still got a pretty concentrated like wort there. Just slowly pour it in, don't take that long. Now I ended up with a bit warm this time. Usually the water's a bit colder, but I don't know. Things vary, you can't control everything just by, because it worked last time, it's going to work this time. You got to watch it, especially with the heat. Anyway, make sure your tap's done up before you do this. It's not fun having water all over the ground, but you should already know, because you should fill it up with cool water first. You pour boiling water into a plastic fermenter, it's not going to taste good. It's going to get that homebrew flavour from the plastic and all that shit. You don't want it. Anyway, it's very close to about it. I add the yeast to the top. Like, it's a little bit warm, but it's fine. It's still within the temperature. I bring it down to about 18 degrees, even a little colder. You know, it's an ale yeast, it handles it fine, no more flavours, which is good. So, and then I'll just do the top, give it a quick shake, not much at all, like 2 shakes, one side to side. And this one I put outside, it's freezing outside, so it cools down pretty quick. I've left it out there a bit longer, but I don't mind. I'll bring it back in, and yeah, it'll ferment away in the cupboard for about a week, 2 weeks. I usually do about 2 if I do a single anyway. I usually just do single fermenter, I don't do secondary, and that should have you pretty much on your way to a nice beer if you follow these steps. Just be careful with your sterilisation, make sure there's nothing in any grooves or anything like that. You'll end up with a shit tasting beer pretty much, because you get bacterial infections, all sorts of problems. I'll look in a minute. Yeah, so just make sure you're clean. Metabisulfate, sodium metabisulfate is a really good one. The vapor actually sterilises, but make sure you scrub them. Don't scrub them, you're gonna have problems. Anyway, any questions, ask away. The only question is stupid is the one you don't ask. That's what I've always been taught. Anyway, please comment, subscribe, and rate. Here's a bit that some of those beers. I'm just going to sort of with that opening, because they're only been in the bottle for 2 days, just to show a bit of the head retention. The all grain one that I was talking about, get a good shake. It's still not the best, but it's only been in the bottle 2 days, and in the bottle under compression, it's gonna bubble down pretty quick anyway. But it's pretty clear. It's a mild looking, and they're what I carbonate with for a few bucks. They save trying to measure them out. Get all the sugar in the bottle. Saves a headache, really. So yeah, as I said, it's still there. They'll be there for another 10 minutes, which is pretty good when you think about it. A lot of home brews. I've done a lot of brews